The Rock is the latest film from the producing team of Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer. Their movies like Flashdance, Beverly Hills Cop, and Top Gun have generated over $3 billion worldwide. The Rock stars Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage as a convict and an FBI scientist who must team up to save San Francisco from a biological weapons attack. The film is dedicated to the memory of Don Simpson. Director Michael Bay, who got his start in advertising, marks his second feature directing effort with this film. Joining me now are producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Michael Bay. Welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations on this. There's a lot to talk about here. Let me begin by talking about this film, since how it came into being and where we are now, as it's opened across the country.
Sure. We got involved with it when Joe Roth, who's the head of Disney now, purchased it for his own company. He wanted to produce it. Right. And he said, look, I'm now running Disney. I can't do it. It's a picture that I think is a good movie. We read the script. We said, well, it could be a good movie. We want to change a few things, like the characters and part of the story. And he said, go do it.
Right.
So we hired a series of writers, and we convinced this young man sitting across from me to get involved. And he had nothing. He had a script that didn't work. All he had was us. No actors. There was nothing cast.
Right.
And it may be a start date. But we told Michael, we made the last one with you, Bad Boys. We're going to make this one. We'll get you a great cast. We promise you that. And somehow we're going to fix the script. We're going to make this whole thing work. And he just did it on a flyer. He was the hottest director in town. His first picture out does $150 million worldwide, plus the revenues of video and everything else. I'm sure the picture ended up grossing close to $300 million in worldwide grosses in all sources. And he's taken a flyer with us. He's offered everything in the world to do, and he came back, thank God. And we got a good picture again.
But who couldn't make this movie? You got Sean Connery, you got Nick Cage, you got Ed Harris, you got, come on.
Well, it came to that, but
we didn't have it.
We didn't have any of that.
So you get this challenge. What do you do?
Well, you kind of panic. But I was on the phone with these guys almost every day for the summer. I had a lot of ideas, a lot of action ideas. Very expensive, though. My movie in my head was something the studio wasn't prepared for. And Jerry says, well, we'll convince him. And we got Nick Cage first, then Sean Connery, and then we got Ed Harris. And that's the unique thing about this action movie. We've got great stars.
What is it that cost a film like this, or Mission Impossible, or other films that you've made, like Crimson Tide? Someone called this Crimson Tide in prison.
Right.
What does it cost films like this so much? What is it that makes them so difficult and so expensive?
Shooting action, you've got to take, it's very time-consuming. It takes a lot of shots. Safety is of big importance. I wanted to shoot on Alcatraz. The studio wanted me to shoot some pretty pictures there for 3 days, and I went on a tour, and my mouth dropped open, and I said, we got to shoot...
This is the place.
We got to shoot half the movie here. And
did you prevail?
Yeah, I did.
Sure.
A lot of kicking and screaming.
How do you get permission to shoot on Alcatraz?
You go through the Park Service. The government controls it. We submitted a script. We had to go through... It's a bird sanctuary.
Right.
So we had a lot of problems with the ecology.
To take care of the birds.
And we had to have the bird lady. We had a bird lady. Followed Michael around. So he wouldn't shoot any of his guns near the birds.
Right, exactly.
So we had to deal with that kind of situation. But they gave us permission. And it's just going to help tourism. 3,000 people go there a day. Can you imagine what's going to go on after this picture comes out? Already we've had a world premiere that came out of Alcatraz. First time ever a film's ever projected.
Premiere at Alcatraz?
At Alcatraz, yeah.
Big event. They built a huge theater in the prison yard. I mean, we're talking full tent, blacked, large screen, movie seats.
What's the
popcorn.
story? I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, Jerry, why don't you explain it?
Real simple. Ed Harris plays a Marine colonel.
Medal of Honor winner.
Medal of Honor winner.
Distinguished soldier.
That's right. Who lost a lot of men behind enemy lines on covert operations, as the government said, you go do this. They died. Their families got no reparations. So he said, that's not fair. He went to Congress. He did everything he could. Nothing worked.
So first twist we have a good man motivated by the right reason.
That's right. Unfortunately, he takes the wrong means.
Right.
He goes and steals a bunch of chemical weapons, nerve gas, and puts it on Alcatraz and said, unless my men get the money that they're due, their families, their wives, and their parents get the money that they deserve, I'm going to unleash this horrible gas on San Francisco. So then we have Nick Cage, who's a chemical weapons expert. They bring him into the fold. And the last man ever to escape from Alcatraz, because Alcatraz is built over a Civil War fort. There are all these tunnels and all these access points, and they figure that if they go in the normal way, they'd lose a lot of men. But if they come up under the water and through the bowels, it could be less lives lost. So here comes Sean Connery.
Now, was the casting, was Connery easy? Did you have to convince him to do this?
It was difficult, and we had to convince him. It took, I would say, 6 weeks of really hard lifting on a screenplay with him in London to...
Meaning you've got to bring the screenplay around so that it's satisfactory for him in terms of his role and relationship with the other characters.
Exactly. We've totally reconceived his role.
Yeah, it's actually...
Where did it go from to what?
It came from a guy who was an American prisoner, and we kind of gave it an international twist, kind of a British operative who was wrongfully imprisoned. And that was Sean's idea.
Yeah, it was all Sean's.
Yeah.
Sean worked really hard. I mean,
he really did.
You got to give him a lot of credit. I mean, there's a reason his pictures are so interesting, because he really comes to work. He doesn't. You don't hand Sean Connery a script, and he reads the lines. Sean wants to know why, when, and where on every single line.
And he wants to improve
every line.
The day of, he wants to improve it. How can we make it better?
Isn't it nice, though, to have a guy like Nick Cage, who between the time you cast it and make your movie, wins an Academy Award?
Total surprise to him and to us, believe me. Because the day the film came out, Nick said, I got a movie opening today. It's a little picture I did. I just don't know how it's going to do. And I'm concerned about it. I said, well, Nick, you're getting great reviews. I didn't even know you made the movie.
Right.
And the rest becomes history.
All right, let's take a look at a clip from this. Here is Sean Connery, who plays Mason, John Spencer, who plays Womack, and we'll see what happens. Here it is.